We're talking actors and directors who put on the shows.
We're talking playwrights and designers who you'll want to know.
From the very first rehearsal to the final curtain call.
We might be off Broadway, but we're talking about it all.
'Cause we're two local gals
with global pals. It's everything, everything, everything theater.
with Benita
And Ellen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Everything Theater podcast, the podcast where we talk about
everything theater and so much fun. Hi there, I'm Benita Zahn.
And I'm Ellen Cribbs with a touch of laryngitis today. I apologize.
You'd never know, darling.
There we go.
And today's our guest is Luke Monday. He's starring in Moulin Rouge, currently up at Proctors. So this really is everything theater because that's what Moulin Rouge is, isn't it, Luke?
Yes, it is. Lots of music, lots of dance, lots of tears and laughter, and all of the above.
And I have to start by saying,
acrobatics.
oh yeah, I saw it last night, and Luke, my goodness, tour de force performance. Congratulations. It is
Wow.
amazing.
Thank you. That is so kind. Truly, thank you.
So is this one of those bucket roles that you always had your eyes on?
Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. Yes, to answer your question. When I was growing up, this movie was very popular. I mean, I'm gonna age myself a little bit, but like a lot of my cast members are like in their early 20s, and they didn't even know about this movie. Like they weren't even aware of it because they weren't born when it was at its like peak popularity. And so, I like a 90s kid, and I grew up with Moulin Rouge, and it was so amazing then. And then when I heard they were making a musical of it, and that Aaron Tveit was attached, I was very excited because I've been a fan of his for many years. And pretty much want to play anything he's ever done, you know what I mean? And he's one of those artists where I'm just like, yep, I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do that,
So Bobby's on your list also from Company.
Oh, I'm for sure. Yeah. And what other things? Catch Me If You Can. I did the role that he did in Next to Normal. Gabe is another phenomenal role that he originated. Chess, he's currently doing on Broadway. Yeah, he played Sweeney Todd, which let's go ahead and add that to the list too. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I always knew I wanted to do this show in some way. I had no idea. Like 5 years ago, me would be so amazed at what's happening right now. My brain can't quite comprehend it, but I'm loving the journey, and I'm really proud of myself, honestly, because it's very rare that you get to actually live out your dreams. Do you know what I mean? And it's happening to me in real time, and I'm just trying to soak it all in.
I'm going to jump in and you've been on tour with the Book of Mormon, with Mamma Mia.
I have, yeah.
You've worked at La Jolla Playhouse, Alabama Shakespeare. Let's see, Captain America and the world premiere of Rogers, the musical at Disney, California.
Mhm.
You've been busy.
I have.
And you've been in our area before, right? You worked at Capitol Rep?
Yeah, so I want to say coming up on maybe 3 years ago, I did the Christmas show at Capitol Rep. We did $1 Million Quartet Christmas. It was truly such a lovely experience. I had up until that point not spent much time in upstate New York, and so it was we were there for 2 months, and I got to be there during Christmas time, and playing Elvis, which is so much fun. My
You
goodness.
were fun. I saw it.
Oh, thank you. Very different, different everything than Moulin Rouge. But Elvis is fun because I love style, playing with style when it comes to music. There's a lot of different styles actually in Moulin Rouge, which is I think where one of the reasons why I love to take on a role like this, because I'm using every part of my voice. I'm using the high belty parts, I'm using the low resonant parts, I'm using my head voice, I'm using everything in between. And with Elvis, it was also kind of playing with the texture of the voice, and how far can I take this impression without while doing justice to this real person, but also kind of making it my own in a way. That was a really fun experience.
So, what's it like working on a show that incorporates a lot, well, mostly almost all music that is familiar, known, so tied to specific artists, and then having to adapt it to your own character and style? Like, how is that different from working on, say, a Rodgers and Hammerstein classic musical?
That is a really good question. Well, thankfully, the powers that be who put this show together so brilliantly, specifically shout out to Justin Levine, who is the arranger and orchestrator of Moulin Rouge. I truly think they did a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to like taking songs that are so familiar to people and weaving them into something that actually works for the narrative of the show. Like specific moment I'm thinking of is like we call it Crazy Rolling in the show, but it's like it starts with Crazy by Gnarls Barkley and then it transitions into Rolling in the Deep, Adele, which is just like, I mean, when that song came out, like you couldn't turn on the radio without hearing that song. And so it's hard to separate like Adele's version, but I do feel like the way it's woven into the story and where it falls in the character's journey, it actually makes a lot of sense. And like suddenly the words that I already knew from when Adele was singing them have sort of when you change the context, it actually really works. And it's also due to the fact that she's such a brilliant songwriter, right? And so I think it's actually easier than you think, because I feel like a lot of the hard work's been done for me and now I just have to stage in the truth of the character and navigate through this song that people just happen to already know the words, but I think it's they're hearing it in a new way, and it's actually kind of exciting, as an actor to be like, I'm going to present this song to you, you think you know it, but we're gonna spin it, and we're gonna tell a story through this song that you may not expect. And I think it surprises people, and I think they really love it.
You know,
um,
it's interesting with the jukebox kind of musicals
yeah.
that the audience, particularly the younger audience, feels like they're at a concert,
Yes.
and the cheering and the singing along, it changes the experience. How is it for you on stage when that happens?
It's tough with this show because we really love the audience participation, uh but there's a fine line between like we're amping up the energy and we're all along for the ride versus like where it turns into a sing along and you're then disrupting all of the people in the seats around you who also paid to see the show. um so I would never like go as far as to be like, yeah, we encourage people to sing along, because Ah, that's tricky. But what I will say is that we love when the audience is vocal and boisterous and cheers, when they laugh really loud and they cheer really loud, and every now and then they'll clap like in the middle of a song. We love that. That feeds into us and our energy on stage, and we're able to kind of recycle that back to the audience. But I'm gonna say I draw the line at singing along, like vocally singing along, because you're not at the movie theater, you're at a live performance and we can hear you. So if I'm starting to sing a song and I hear like people out there singing along with me, it does take me out a little bit. So um it's tricky. I would say it's a fine line.
As they,
Um
someone last night started singing along at one point, and luckily they cut it out because I
yeah.
was about to give them the glare. Because the other thing that I hope people can appreciate is like people on stage are these amazingly trained singers, and I only get this one chance to hear you. It's not like I can buy your CD, and like listen to this version
Yeah.
of Moulin Rouge again. And so it's like I want to hear Luke. I don't want to hear someone else
Well,
who
yeah,
you
thank
know.
you. I feel the same way, and I'm like, I worked really hard on this. Like, let me. I'm a professional. I promise. Let me do it. Yeah.
So now being back in town, you spent the 2 months in the Albany area
hmm
a couple of years ago. Now being back in town, do you have any time, Luke, to revisit a haunt you enjoyed?
Um, I don't think so. And it's a bummer because it's so cute. Like, I feel like majority of the time I've spent in this area has been during the winter, and it's so lovely and sunny out, and like it's really perfect weather to go out and explore, but the show schedule is pretty intense. And we're only here for a week, which is really challenging to that's the part about tour that kind of bums me out is like a lot of the cities that we go to, we're only there for a week. And an 8 show week, when you add in press and you add in rehearsals and you add in sound check and you add in costume fittings, there's not a whole lot of time. And then also we all have our gym routines, and it's tough to find time for I guess for pleasure, to be honest. So I'm gonna try and get out while I'm here if I can, especially because the weather's nice, but no promises. Because I also love my rest.
which is so important, both
Yeah.
of it.
Yes,
And it's a
yes.
very physical role that you're playing.
It is. I am so grateful for this job. I love my job, but I often joke that like I'm I don't know how people can do a role like this for years on end. Like you
Mm.
hear about, actresses who they played Elphaba for 5 years, or, even like Christian Douglas, who's the Christian on Broadway right now. He was Christian on this tour for, I want to say like a year and a half before going to Broadway, and then doing it for another, year plus. And, I sit there and go, the how, how, like, 8 shows a week for however many years is a lot. I don't know that I would want that type of responsibility for that long. Because I like to let loose, and I like to not always worry about what's going to happen with my voice in the morning. You know what I mean? And so it's definitely been an adjustment being in this role full time and having to kind of monitor constantly how my body feels, how my voice feels. We're like 80% today? Okay, how do we get to 100? You know what I mean?
Glad
It's
you
a,
talk about all that. These are really challenging times, as you know, and we've talked about in terms of fundraising for the
yes.
arts. And people think, well, you're just going to go get on stage and, put on a costume and play. And it's not that at all. And the
It's not.
technical work that goes on and expertise that marries what you're able to do on stage,
Yeah.
people really need to understand that.
I know, and it's funny. The thing that would always really grind my gears back before I had this job where I was working like a service job, or like as a barista or what have you, and I explained to people, yeah, I'm an actor, I do musical theater, and they go, oh, that's so fun. Oh, fun. And I'm like, yes, obviously, yes, fun is a huge. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun. But like my day, from the second I wake up to the second I go to bed, I am constantly monitoring, like I said, my voice, my body, how I'm feeling. I'm warming up throughout the day. Not to mention, I've been in voice lessons for over a decade to work towards being able to do this type of work consistently and healthily. And who knows how much money I spent on voice lessons and acting classes and a degree. And yeah, it's people don't realize, yes, it's acting and it's fun and it's theater and it's but we are working our butts off. It is hard work. And the dancers in our show, they are breaking their bodies.
Yeah.
The number of injuries I've seen on this show since I joined, it will baffle you. Like really intense injuries. And man, they work so hard, and I have so much respect for our dancers. They're
If you
phenomenal.
haven't seen this show, do. First of all, it's closing on Broadway.
Oh my gosh,
So
it's
you
working.
become the go-to
Yes. Yeah.
increasingly as the tour goes on.
Hmm.
You're here through the 7th. Proctor's is a great venue.
It is. It's
And so,
beautiful
and
and
in fact,
historic.
this show,
And my friend walked in yesterday and she's like, "This is the perfect space for this show." I was like,
It was.
It's just grand. It's beautiful."
I totally agree. That all the gold accents, and it feels very elegant and avant-garde, and that's very much what our show is. It's opulence. It's diamonds and sparkles and confetti and lights, and yeah, it's a very beautiful show visually. If anything, come for that, because it is a feast for the eyes and the ears. The sound design of the show is really phenomenal as well.
how long are you going to be with it? When did you start? When do you wrap up?
So I joined originally. So I've been in the ensemble of the show for over 2 years. I joined in February of 24. And then I just started Christian full time last month, actually.
Oh, wow.
So it's the role of Christian full time is new to me, but Moulin Rouge, the show, I've been with for quite some time, and then I'll be with the show until the end of the summer. So.
Is that easier in a way to like get into such a major role as Christian when you already are familiar with the show, or is it different at all?
Well, I think so. I have experienced a lot of life on this tour, and I've learned and I've experienced a lot of growth. I would say my journey is very unconventional because whereas some actors like go audition for the role of Christian in New York and they get cast from that type of audition, most of our full-time Christians had that experience. Mine was very different. It was kind of on the job training, if you will. Um, but what's been wonderful is to learn from all the different Christians that have come before me. Every single Christian brings something different to this part, vocally, acting wise, or all of the above. And I kind of can take little bits and pieces that I learn from them and incorporate it into my own show, and also obviously do my own thing. And it's uh, it's really cool to finally get to share all that with the audience every night, and I'm grateful also that the powers that be, the director and the producers of our show, like, took notice and that they trusted me with this. That feels really good.
You talk about the, pardon the auditioning. I was auditioning for something, and then, like 2 doors down, you know what it's like in New York City. Every room
Mhm.
is a different audition. There were a whole load of guys standing outside, all in white shirts and black pants. So you know what they were auditioning for? A
Oh
show you've been
yes.
in, Book of Mormon.
Hello. Yep. Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's got to be. Oh, I'll call it interesting because I have never auditioned where we all look the same. You go for cabaret and you know who's going to be a Kit Kat girl, and that wasn't me. But
Right.
all these guys, everybody's standing about the same height and the same build, and I could see you doing that.
Yeah. No, it's Book of Mormon is one of those. I think nowadays they do say, like, please don't dress up like a Mormon. Like, if I'm remembering right, like, when I auditioned, they were like, just wear a nice shirt, any nice shirt. Don't, like, they're like, don't do the costume thing, because I know that, like, I think in the early days of the show that was like a huge thing for them, and I think they finally are like, don't
Maybe
come.
this was callbacks.
Maybe, yeah, yeah, but it's yeah, it is cutthroat, and I will say with self-taping and post-pandemic, the industry is so different. It's very different than when I started. Everything was in person when I started, and it's just simply not the case now.
Ellen, we've got 6 minutes. You want to do one of our,
Oh, our close up?
yeah?
Let's do it. So look, we like to end episodes a lot with a close-up segment, some rapid fire questions all about you. So Luke, are you ready for your close-up?
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. Bring it on.
When was the moment in your life when you just knew I have to do theater?
I can't think of a specific moment, but I will say when I was in fifth grade, my whole class went to the high school, the local high school, and watched the high school production, the Logan High production of Guys and Dolls. I remember my fifth grade teacher, she said her son was the lead, and I just remember thinking they all were so amazing. I thought they were so talented. I couldn't believe that it was her son and this and that and the other. And I was just like, how do they do that? And it sparks this curiosity in me that frankly has never gone away. And it helps. And the other thing is that I had a really fabulous theater teacher in high school that really inspired me and made me allowed us room to just play and explore. And that's I'm still doing that. I'm still playing and exploring.
What's a show that's had a huge impact on your life, either one that you were involved in or one you saw?
A show that's had a huge impact on my life. Well, the first professional show was when I was 18 years old. I auditioned for and got booked a production of Hair, the musical, in Park City, Utah. The culture in Utah is very conservative, and so it was kind of a big deal that a theater was producing Hair, and that it was, because there's so much community theater. They were like, no, we want to pay the actors. It's like a professional. They had equity actors, and my little 18-year-old self just showed up, and I couldn't believe that. they wanted to pay me to be in their show. They wanted to pay me money to be in their show, because up until then I'd just been doing it for fun. And that was a pivotal moment of where I was like, oh, I like this. And if I can do this as my job that for forever, then that's what I'm going to try to do. And I've been chasing it ever since.
What's your advice for the 18-year-olds out there who are just starting their careers?
Well, my advice is find you a really, really good voice teacher, one that you trust, that you have a good relationship with. Because I will say, I've talked to a lot of people who have trauma from voice lessons, and teachers that have made them feel not confident. And I'm very lucky that I have a voice teacher that we mesh so well together. He's like a mentor, he's a friend. He was at my wedding. Like it's a very important relationship, and you have to be really vulnerable with your voice teacher. You have to be willing to mess up and make mistakes in order to grow. So I'd say find you a good voice teacher if you want to be in musical theater. You got to be able to sing. Even and then dance class is the other thing that I'm still kicking myself. I should have gone to more dance classes, dancing and singing. I tell you
That's
what.
the name of your book. I should have gone to more dance classes.
Yes.
Look, Monday, this has been a delight. Buy your tickets. Moulin Rouge is at Proctors through the 7th. It's a feast for your eyes. It's a feast for your soul. Go do something that's happy. Have a great rest of your tour. And you're moving. You're going to be in New York City now.
I am. Yeah, I've been a West Coaster for the last 12 years, and I packed up my life and we are going to NYC, baby.
Welcome to the
Yes.
Big Apple.
Thank you. Thank you. So nice to meet you both.
You too, and all the best.
Thank you.
For our listeners, we'll catch you next time. I'm Ellen Cribbs.
And I'm Benita Zahn. Be well.
Thank you so much for listening to the Everything Theater podcast. Special thanks goes out to Alice Grinling for our photography and Justin Friello for composing our amazing theme song. Please remember to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you want to share your thoughts or what's going on in your theater community, you can reach out to us on social media or through our email at everythingtheaterpodcast@gmail.com. Till next time, it's everything, everything.